pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Today is Tuesday, February the 19th, 2019, 6 p.m. This regular meeting of the Greensburg Water Board be called to order. To comply with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the city requests that participants in this meeting complete a voluntary anonymous survey that is available on the table in the back of the room. A roll call, Donna?
Chuck?
Here.
Tony?
Here.
Frank is absent. Ryan?
Here.
Robin?
Here. The minutes from January 15th meeting were distributed in the packet. Is there any objections or corrections to the minutes as distributed? Not, they'll be accepted. New business, HNTB update there.
Good evening, everyone. Couple things. Bidding schedule, we're looking to advertise for bids for the project construction bids on March 1st, which is a week from our next Friday.
Not too far off. Yeah.
Yes, it's coming up. So as part of that, we'll advertise March 1st, and we'll also advertise on 7 days later on March 8th. We'll probably have a pre-bid meeting Tuesday, March 19th. And that's an opportunity for the proposals or the contractors that are looking to propose on the work to come in. We'll kind of brief them on the project. If they can answer some questions, and we can get some comments back from them or any concerns they have, or try to get some clarification. So it's also a good time just to kind of figure out who's particularly going to look at bidding the project too as well. So it won't be mandatory, but on a project this size, I assume that we'll get pretty good attendance on that. We'll probably have that here at this location, and then after the meeting, it takes about less than an hour, and then after that, we'll give them the opportunity to go out to the job site, or to the site, and look at the existing facilities and where the new plant we build. So, and then we received bids. That exact date hasn't been finalized. Could be early as April 1st, but it's going to be probably that first week of April. It's just roughly a month. We would have liked to give them a little more time. I've talked to a couple contractors, and they said a month is adequate. That if waiting a little longer kind of puts in some things with the financing, with SRF and some of their dates and deadlines. So getting something the first week of April works better for their schedule as well. So we're going to try to do that. I don't think it's going to hurt as far as the contractors putting together bids. With that, we will have to have a special board meeting to take bids. So once I have that date, I will get with scheduling and advertising a special board meeting to receive bids. It will take all of probably 15-20 minutes. We'll just take them, receive the bids, take them under advisement, check to make sure they look responsive, and then you'll take them under advisement, and then we'll look at them for that. And then other items, permits. I spoke with IDEM last week. He told me I should have comments back or a permit back by the end of this week, on the 22nd. Then he told me, well, maybe no later than the end of the month. So I anticipate having it in the next 2 weeks. So they've had it since December 21st. So they have up to 120 days, but I think they'll have it back to us by the end of the month. So we also had first reading at the last city council meeting for vacation of the streets and right-of-ways associated with the project. That second final reading will be at next month's meeting, which I believe is March 4th. March 4th. that's another thing that's out of the way. We do have one state building release that typically takes about 3 weeks. We typically do that once we advertise for bids because we usually have a month plus. So I've seen some of that documentation. I anticipate that will be submitted here in the next week or two as well. So we get that state release as far as the buildings go. And let's see. That's pretty much it from where we're at this point. We're kind of finalizing everything. We're making some final edits to the drawings, so we should have those ready to go and when we advertise, so the contractors in. As far as contractors, I've had at least 5 contact me on a consistent basis. So, and I get calls just about every other day. It seems like wanting updates or someone else I've had some as far. Someone in Louisville contacted me the other day looking about it, and the normal ones that we normally see have also been contacting me and tracking it for some time. So I would anticipate, we're going to have. I would hope we'll see 5, maybe even more bids in that.
More the merrier.
Yeah. Any other questions?
So at the special meeting, we take the bids and then.
Basically, what it comes down to, the contractors will have to put together a sealed bid. They'll submit it to here at City Hall probably by 4 p.m. that day. They'll date stamp them, or they'll time stamp them. We'll open the meeting. Chris will help me. We'll open up them. There's several things they have to submit with their bid. It's their proposal, whether there's any addendum with that. Form 96, which is some financial stuff. They got to have a pre-bid bond bid, and a couple other items. So some SRF stuff that they have to do as well. And we'll look to make sure that looks to be there. We're not going to make any rulings that day. If it looks to be responsive, it has all the information, then we typically will read the bid aloud, and then we'll do that with all the bidders, and then we'll basically say, ask the board to recommend that we take them under advisement, review them thoroughly, and make sure everything looks to be in place. And then the following, with that being the case, then the next actual board meeting, we would probably present to you with a recommendation.
Okay.
So that's generally how it works. Sound good? Other questions? Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Evening. You got your operations report in your packet. Did you have any questions on that? It was quite a bit. They were quite a bit busier outside last year. You can tell by the numbers. Of course, we had the Lincoln Street job. Took 3 or 4 months of that. So, you got any questions on it?
Anything outstanding to you?
No, it was just an extremely busy year last year. Like I say, with the Lincoln Street job, that's where a number of the services, the old galvanized services and stuff, you can see where they had been replaced. That was a big portion of that. So it was a good year.
Will we formally accept his report? Yeah, just for information. Sorry.
You did in the past, I
Okay.
remember.
I'll move we accept Rick's annual operations report for 2018.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded. We accept the operations report for 2018. Roll call vote?
Chuck,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Robin,
Yes.
Very good.
If you remember a couple months ago, we hired Jim Carr, the hydrogeologist, to do update on our wellhead protection plan, which needs to be submitted to the state by the end of February. There's not a whole lot of changes with that plan. The biggest thing he wanted the board to look at was the possible contamination sites. I emailed everybody. I also have hard copies if somebody would like to look at a hard copy. If you had a chance to look at that, if you see anything that didn't look right or needed to be added, or as you can tell, there's a bunch of places.
Yeah. Interesting reading.
Yeah. So I just need approval with the wellhead protection plan update to go ahead, and I can tell Jim to go ahead and submit that to the state.
I'll move we approve the wellhead protection plan update.
I'll second it. Have a roll call vote?
Chuck,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Robin.
Yes.
Very good.
Moving right along.
Holland Lease.
This is the property ground at Flat Rock River that we've been leasing to Holland Farms for the last 35 years, or however long Chuck's been on the board, I'm not sure. But just that time to renew that lease, and nothing's changed on it, everything's the same. If that's the board's wishes.
How many acres that entail?
I think it's around 140 some. And I did forget the lease on my desk, so I'll be coming around tomorrow and getting signatures from the board members if you approve it tonight.
I mean, have you had anybody else show interest in
I
leasing it?
have not, and if you remember Chuck and Robin, maybe Tony, that we had looked at even possibly selling it, or
Right.
and we even looked at maybe making some money off of logging it,
Logging it,
and that
yeah.
didn't pan out, you know. It's just, it's not a good location, it's not, and honestly, I think the majority of it's only accessible from Holland side, so
Yeah.
you have the river runs through.
What do you think, man? I'll make a motion, we go ahead and accept the lease with Holland for the farm ground, Flat Rock.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded, have a roll call.
Who got the second?
Robin?
Chuck,
Yes.
Tony,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Robin.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Very good. What else you got, Rick?
That's all I have.
Find anything?
We're in the process of, we're in the process of filling a reservoir. If you've been by there, you'll notice it's coming up. We're putting about 4,500 gallon a minute in there right now, so it won't take too long to be full. I do have 2 guys that's gonna start schooling in the end of March on Tuesdays for 6 weeks, all day. They'll be testing for their DSL, their distribution license, after that sometime, so we'll be doing that at Ivy Tech, so I'll keep you updated on that.
Okay. Short help?
No, we're fine. We just got a couple guys that it's time. They've been there long enough, and they got the experience. They're gonna try to get their license, their distribution license. So that's what they're working towards.
How many you have licensed?
We encourage it. Operations, we have 2, including myself 3 out of 5. Distribution, we have 1, 2, 3, including myself. So I encourage all of them to be licensed, to get licensed. Got a couple of them wanting to do it, so
Very good.
that's all I have.
Anything else for Rick? Gonna let him off the hook? Thanks, Rick.
Thanks.
Danny, got anything?
Looks like we're moving forward, guys.
Very good. Keep dinner working.
Keep it pushing.
Anybody have anything they'd like to bring before the board? If not,